LeBron, what pleased you the most about not just getting the win tonight, but the way your team played?
I just think our composure. Obviously we were going against a well-coached, super athletic. They caused a lot of havoc. I think our composure, even when they made a run at the end of that second to cut the lead to 2.
The moment Game 1 ended against the Rockets, the entire basketball world immediately started asking the same terrifying question once again. Did playoff LeBron James just wake up? Because what fans witnessed on April 18th, 2026 honestly looked less like a normal playoff performance and more like a warning shot to the entire NBA. All season long, critics kept questioning whether LeBron could still dominate at the highest level consistently. Sports shows debated his age daily. Social media exploded every time he had a bad shooting night. People kept saying the younger stars had officially taken over the league. But then the playoffs arrived, and suddenly LeBron looked like a completely different athlete again. From the opening quarter against the Rockets, his energy felt dangerous. Every possession looked intentional. Every drive to the basket looked violent. And perhaps most importantly, the calm confidence in his body language looked exactly like the LeBron fans remembered from his greatest playoff runs ever. The Rockets crowd entered the game expecting speed, youth, and athleticism to overwhelm the Lakers. Instead, they watched LeBron completely control the emotional pace of the game itself. Whenever Houston started building momentum, LeBron answered immediately with another huge play. A powerful dunk. A deep three-pointer. A perfect assist through traffic. Suddenly the atmosphere inside the arena completely shifted. That is what legendary players do during playoff basketball. They change energy inside buildings. And by the end of Game 1, it honestly felt like the NBA world had just been reminded that counting out LeBron James in the postseason remains one of the biggest mistakes possible.
I know you're not someone who really applies the term pressure to basketball very often, but Luke Kennard told us the other day he doesn't feel any pressure, and JJ Redick said that maybe it's freeing this position you guys are in going into this series, considering your backcourt, what they're going through. What do you feel like the kind of overall team spirit is, or has been, coming into this?
We just want to prepare ourselves the best way we can. I thought we had a great week of preparation, but we got to continue that. It's just one game. We protect the home court for Game 1, and we got to get better over the next 48 hours going into Game 2 on Tuesday.
What made the performance feel historic was not just the statistics themselves, it was the timing and pressure surrounding the game. Entering the playoffs, the Lakers faced endless criticism. Analysts questioned whether they even had enough depth to survive multiple playoff rounds. Critics argued that LeBron could no longer carry teams physically the way he once did during his prime years. But from the very beginning of Game 1, LeBron looked determined to silence every conversation personally. He attacked mismatches aggressively. He bullied defenders in transition. And perhaps most impressively, he completely controlled the tempo whenever the Rockets tried speeding the game up emotionally. That basketball IQ remains one of the deadliest weapons in sports history. Younger teams often rely heavily on energy and momentum during playoff games. LeBron understands exactly how to destroy that rhythm strategically. There were stretches during the game where Houston looked ready to explode offensively, only for LeBron to slow everything down with perfect decision-making. And then came the highlight moments that instantly took over social media. Huge dunks. Impossible passes. Clutch shots with defenders draped all over him. Fans online immediately started comparing the performance to some of LeBron's greatest playoff games from Cleveland and Miami. That is how dominant he looked. The craziest part is that he accomplished all of this while being one of the oldest superstars still competing at an elite level in the NBA. Most legends declined physically long before this point in their careers. Somehow LeBron continues finding ways to elevate himself once playoff pressure arrives. That is why former players constantly say regular season LeBron and playoff LeBron almost feel like two completely different human beings.
LeBron, this is the 83rd game this team has played this season, counting the regular season tonight. You guys have had to win a bunch of different ways. How do you think that benefited you guys as you enter a game like tonight, obviously missing your starting backcourt, but also too, like having prepped a very specific way for a Rockets team you ended up not seeing?
No, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we definitely prepared the best way we could coming into tonight's game. We understood the situation that we're going to be in, and we understand how our demographic of offensively, how we're going to play had to completely change. So we spent a lot of time with this week, the week leading up to this game, honing in on what we need to do offensively, because it's just a different.
After the game, LeBron's post-game reaction became almost as viral as the performance itself. Sitting in front of reporters, he looked locked in emotionally rather than overly celebratory. That mindset immediately caught fans' attention because it showed this performance was not about proving 1 point in one game. LeBron looked like someone completely focused on a bigger mission. During interviews, he repeatedly praised teammates and emphasized the importance of staying disciplined throughout the series. But despite the calm answers, you could still feel the intensity underneath everything he said. There was a noticeable edge in his voice whenever reporters mentioned critics questioning his playoff dominance entering the postseason. And honestly, that emotional energy might be the scariest thing for the rest of the league. Historically, the most dangerous version of LeBron has always been the version playing with personal motivation. Whenever he feels doubted, attacked, or overlooked, something changes mentally. Fans have seen it throughout his career repeatedly. The playoffs become personal. Every possession becomes emotional. Every huge play feels like a response to criticism. That exact energy returned during Game 1 against Houston. You could see it in his celebrations after big baskets. You could hear it in the crowd reactions every time he attacked the rim. And you could definitely feel it during the post-game interview when LeBron talked about understanding the responsibility of leading a playoff team. Even at this stage of his career, he still carries himself like the face of postseason basketball itself. That confidence spreads throughout entire locker rooms, and it completely changes the psychological atmosphere of playoff series.
It's a different style of how we play now, when you're missing so much. For us, our game plan didn't change that much as far as, who we're going against. Obviously, getting the news late, the late scratch of KD, changed some of our situational things. But that team is still dangerous. Even more dangerous with KD, obviously. But they're still dangerous. And I thought we handled it with a lot of professionalism.
Another reason this Game 1 performance felt so important was because it reminded fans why LeBron's playoff legacy remains nearly unmatched in modern basketball history. Over 2 decades, he has repeatedly delivered huge postseason performances exactly when people start doubting him most. That pattern almost feels inevitable now. Every year fans convince themselves age will finally slow him down permanently. Every year younger stars are expected to fully take over playoff basketball. And somehow LeBron continues producing legendary moments that force the entire sports world to stop and pay attention again. Against the Rockets, it was not just the scoring that stood out. It was the leadership. It was the emotional control. It was the way teammates visibly trusted him whenever pressure intensified. Great playoff leaders create confidence around everyone else on the floor. And during Game 1, LeBron's presence completely changed the Lakers' energy. Role players started hitting shots more confidently. Defensive intensity increased dramatically. The entire team played with more composure because LeBron controlled the emotional tone from start to finish. That ability separates legendary playoff performers from regular stars. Statistics alone cannot explain it. Momentum matters in postseason basketball. Confidence matters. Fear matters. And LeBron has spent years mastering how to manipulate all of those emotions against opponents. That is why younger teams often struggle against him in playoff environments even when they appear faster or more athletic on paper. Experience combined with greatness creates something extremely difficult to overcome mentally.
Hey, Bron. You've hit so many difficult shots in your career. I'm wondering what you thought of Luke's offhanded hook shot in the first.
The one that went off high off the glass? Yeah. It's good to be able to be comfortable with both hands. And him going across, that lane and going to his right hand, being able to kiss it high off that glass, is
Now the biggest question after this historic Game 1 performance is simple. How far can playoff LeBron take this Lakers team in 2026? Because after watching what happened against Houston, fans across America immediately started believing another legendary postseason run might actually be possible. Sports shows exploded with reactions overnight. Former NBA players began debating whether LeBron was once again entering one of those terrifying playoff zones where he completely controls the league's attention. Social media clips from Game 1 flooded everywhere within hours. And perhaps most importantly, opposing teams around the NBA suddenly had to face a scary reality again: playoff LeBron still exists. Eventually, basketball will move into a future without LeBron James dominating postseason headlines. Eventually, another generation of stars will fully control the spotlight. But performances like this are exactly why that future still feels difficult to imagine. Because somehow, even after everything he has already accomplished, LeBron James continues producing playoff moments powerful enough to shock the sports world all over again. And after Game 1 against the Rockets, one thing became crystal clear to everybody watching. The King is still capable of turning playoff basketball into his personal stage whenever he decides the moment matters most.